and welcome to episode 16 of Infamous Second Son Going Good. This should hopefully be the final episode. This should have everything I need to do, or everything you should be able, or everything except the, what's it called? Paper Trail DLC is the only thing I am not going to do in this entire thing because all of that is on the computer and phone. I have no way to really do that over console or over PS5, and that's how I'm editing all my stuff, so I am just not going to do that. It'd be better for you to experience that any other way than over what I could do. With all that said, let's go kick some ass. And why I know this will be the final bit is because I only have these 3 chunks, because I already completed this island. So let's go from this corner, then gonna go across, cleaning out all of that, then gonna go down, cleaning out all of that, and then do all of that. That right there is the Paper Trail DLC that I am not going to do. But the beauty about this episode is that next episode is going to be the start of the villain campaign, or at least next episode of Infamous Second Son. And I am actually looking forward to that because that is a power trip. The shit you can do, every ability just gets more over the top, basically, is the best way to put it. Like, you basically become a D&D rogue with bad video. You'll see, but there's some crazy combos, crazy? Said that very weird, but crazy combat. And where's this guy at? But just don't look at him. It's basically fighting Wraith, or anticipating a Wraith on the enemy team. I think that's him up to the left. Fuck it! Shit! I'm sorry, and because that was yeah, he's just fucked. Well, I took a shot, and it was wrong. Happens to the best of us. Where the fuck? That's not him. That's just right? Not him. Wait, what? That's just a random DP. Where the fuck is this guy?
Time to throw in the towel. Let me go.
He could theoretically be up here, can he? Because this is where he has to be. You up here? No. Okay. Where the hell? Am I just blind? What? When did he... Okay. I don't even know when he started running. For not playing in... I was gonna say a week, but I don't actually know if it's been a week. I'm just gonna stick with a week. For not playing in a week, I am doing pretty fucking good. I have been playing very accuracy-focused games, like the finals, Overwatch, and that type of thing. Or I've been playing my main build on Destiny, which is Ariana's and aerial movement. Ariana's Valorant aerial movement. Basically a hand cannon sniper, if you did not know that, that has hand cannon in-air accuracy, so while you're in the air, you can do shots like video can. Just dink people into oblivion. But I typically run that in PvE, even though technically most of my builds could be run in PvP. Let's try this again. Where's he at? Sorry about that. Where the fuck? It's neither of them. What? Where the hell? Okay, this might take up a good chunk of this. I'm just fucking blind. Up here? No. Looking for that specific type of jacket. Where the hell? Hell yeah. It's either of them. Where the... Are you? No, not the right hair color. Yeah, not even the right jacket. That's more of a shirt. Where the... Wait. No, you're not him. What? Ooga booga, baby. That's fucking interesting. Huh.
You're my favorite of bioterrorists. Ijo!
Where the fuck? Over here. And I'm back over here. And I'm walking. Where the hell? Okay. I'm gonna do one more sweep. And then just gonna go do something else. I can try this again later in the video. This should not take up all of it. And the bullshit thing is I've been looking at the targets. Or at the possible targets. The boys. The people. Because I don't know where he is. And if I'm looking at him, he will run. And that still hasn't happened yet, which means I haven't seen him yet. Which, that alone, is peculiar. Because where haven't I looked? Hello? No. Hello, but this would be outside the... Oh, where you at? Oh, they are. Okay. Well, let's just go do something else. Like, take out these cameras, take out that, then that. And then possibly that. I'm actually going to do that last, because that was a little bit weird. I have talked about in the past making this game like a DC Universe Online. if I ever get the chance to remake the Infamous games. And I have talked about how you could, in theory, make a slow mo for one person that everything else runs the same speed. I The amount of slow mo this has will be fucking busted in a competitive shooter because there'll be constant ding 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 ding. Because if a person is good while playing this game, they can easily just dink everything because there's skill involved because you have to get in the center of that dot, but it's easy because you have no scope, which makes these type of games so beautiful. Or the Infamous games in general, which is why I really love the idea of making like Infamous games that everyone would want to play, even PC gamers, anyone would want to play, because the third person version or this third person type of game is fucking beautiful because of what you can do with it, how you can play, just the different things about it. And the movement actually. The movement I do want to fine tune a good bit, like add in a little bit of like Dying Light type movement where it's more like you can jump and grab something, but you can prioritize the thing you're looking at. So if you're trying to like do little parkour jumps, you could intentionally go like that and do something. I don't know what it would be. I can guess like hold X or hold a button to intentionally grab something. Because sometimes you don't grab what you want to grab, you grab something else because you gravitated towards that. Different things like that. Like more of a I intentionally want to grab this bit here instead of having to let him magnetize to it, which is the only real problem, in my opinion, of the Infamous movement, which Sekiro has too, but less so because Infamous is more of a movement shooter to an extent. But yeah, and I just run past it because I was talking shit. I'm Henmek, but the slow mo I don't think would actually work because there's so much slow mo that they would actually have to be able to do to really feel in that same feeling. I'm guessing, okay, slow mo wouldn't work. I think slow mo would work for the damage or the ability to hit your shots, but I'm guessing because you're using that, if there is a way to like get different health values for using different subclasses or different elemental types, I'm guessing if you're running Neon, you just don't have that much health comparatively. Something around those lines. Unless you're running Delson or a Delson equivalent, because I do think Delson, the character, should be able to be changed, but the general story is the same. Like, the only change you could really have is male or female. I think, just to make it a little bit more per person, because I'm wanting it more of a. And it, the weird thing about that, or the cool thing about that, actually, not really weird thing, the general story doesn't matter, male or female. Delson could easily have been a female. There's no needing to be a male. And some stories, like Doomslayer, sure, the Doomslayer could, in theory, have been a female, but it just doesn't hit as hard. It just doesn't. As a massive dude, bro, literally beating the fuck out of demons with his bare fists because they killed his bunny rabbit. Like, that is why he went back into hell. He got into hell first, or if you didn't know, okay. Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are a continuation of Doom 1 and 2. Doom 3 is its own thing, and I think there's another Doom somewhere in there that is its own thing as well. But Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 2016, and Doom Eternal. And I know I'm talking about lore of a completely different game, but this is fucking metal. This is why this game, or why this franchise is fucking cool. Because not just a game, there's multiple games spanning a long ass time. But Doom 1 is the story of basically a Marine that, instead of following the order of his commanding officer to kill civilians, said fuck you and fuck that and beat the ever-loving dog shit out of that man. Because, no, that is just not what I'm going to do because I have a conscience. Which, doing that, made him have a guard duty on the Mars, or Phobos. I think it was Phobos and Moon Mars, not necessarily Mars to begin with. I forget. One or the other. Just a security job. And during that security job, and the reason why I'm not grabbing this because I can talk and finish this general thought, and then I will go into this. I'm sorry for taking up your time. I didn't mean to take up your time with the first uh, mission I was doing. But doing on that security job, demons started killing everything. And the cool thing, or not the cool thing, the thing that makes him automatically a badass is because before he had anything, when he was just a typical man, just a soldier that was damn good at his job with a good head on his shoulders. During Doom 1, you can see the Invisibitches, which no other person can do. You can kill the demons, which no other person could do, because if they could do that, they could defend themselves. There would be pockets of resistance. There would be something. There isn't. There is no living person in any place the Doomslayer is. And before he was even a demigod in Doom 2016, Doom Eternally becomes a demigod, but before he was that, he could still kill them, where other people just couldn't. And that is fucking crazy. And I know, like I said, it could be female, but it doesn't hit as hard for Doomslayer to be a female doing all of that. A male is just testosterone, basically. It's just hell yeah. Because it's that bro that it just feels better for it to be a guy, in my personal opinion. But characters like Delson could be male or female, even with all the little story bits here and there. And I'm not going to go into a lot of the Doom lore. You just have to get that bit, really. But if you want more, I forget the actual YouTube channel. It's like Doom Main, like Doom instead of man, it's Main. I think is his YouTube channel. He is a Doom nut. Like he is like as part of a Doom nut as I am a gun nut in Destiny and anything I love. He is the guy to go to for Doom lore. I haven't watched a video on his in a good bit, but he has explained a lot of shit, explained a lot of shit, shown a lot of shit. But I don't know if I've ever thought about the fact that no one's ever been able to really kill a demon. I don't know if it's been in lore. I know if it's been in lore that somebody's been able to kill a demon. But Doomslayer just does it because he can. And that's fucking crazy. Now, let's continue killing other shit.
Being thrown in a hole and tortured for 7 years. That poor kid, Eugene. And he wasn't quite right when they brought him in, but what Augustine did to him, it's amazing he can still carry on a conversation. And I often wondered what her plan was, why she was putting him through so much pain and suffering. The only conclusion I came up with was that she was training him for a mission. But a mission for what? We'll never know. The military came in and he was one of the first conduits shipped out. Whatever his mission was going to be, it couldn't have been good.
Okay. That is more evidence as to why Eugene would have a split personality complex, or to an extent, because I don't think it's a full split personality. It's more the same person. It's not Hulk, Bruce Banner, where they will actually fight. They're more the same person, just one's more the persona given more free reign, so to speak. The persona of his video game character. And something about that, in First Light, you actually see what came of those tortures, of those horrible acts. His power, if I remember correctly, Eugene's power does instantly trigger like a self-defense mechanism. When there's enough stress or pain or something afflicted to him, it will automatically trigger. But because they had figured out a cuff mechanism to stop conduit abilities, and I'm sorry about you hearing that clank, I have a mason jar in front of me full of water. That's what I typically drink out of, and I bang my nail off of it. Excuse me, even though you didn't hear me, I had a burp. But Eugene, in First Light, when you are killing the survival enemies, because there's a lot of different survival modes, like there's two different survival modes, different maps, but survival, where you are doing all sorts of different objectives depending on what you're doing, but all of those enemies are Eugene's creations, even the DUP. And the reason why he's doing that, I don't think the redheaded bitch is asking is the best way to put it for him to do those things, because it's whenever she wants it in those specific places, then it is not any ifs, ands, or buts. So I'm guessing she figured out a way, and this is something kind of cool that if this is the case, and this is why I want to talk to Sucker Punch to give more information, because I am just going off what I can infer and kind of think about more. But Sucker Punch are the people that made this universe and the general story behind it, and I want to talk to Sony and just all the general thing if I ever get the chance, because I don't want to just force my ideas upon this world. I do want to make the world more fine-tuned, cutting off the rough edges here and there, scraping them down, like that general like fine-tuning and making it flow like a river, not just having little dams here and there. Flow like a clean river instead of having little dams here and there. That's a better example. But I think I said everything I want to. Let's go kick some ass. Or make some art, technically. Because I wasted so much of y'all's time, I'm going to just speedrun the actual objectives I'm wanting to do, not the side objectives. If I don't hurt a civilian, I will keep my ult, so that won't really matter. And I have Neon already, so that will just insta-kill everything around. Which will be even better. The weird jiggle there was because I was trying to mute, and it just wouldn't want to press. If you didn't know, the mute button is on the PS5's middle part, and you can mute that to, you can press that button to mute or unmute, or hold the button to deafen yourself, muting everything in the game coming out, which is pretty cool. And that's why you hear me just cut out here and there, because I'm muting myself before I actually finish what I'm saying. Even though on my end, I could have sworn I did say it, it just doesn't process yet, and then when I mute, it cuts it off beforehand, is what I am experiencing personally. This is what it seems like. I could just be a little slow. I don't fucking know. And let's go do this shit. Oh yeah, Lisa's right here. I know it was really close, I just thought it would be like up on a building or something. Oh, that's easy, just follow that wall. Okay, so it's there, that wall. Ooh. It's up there. There it is. Hell yeah. And now gonna knock this out. I'm gonna try that one more time after knocking that out, because I would like to get all of this done at the same time. But I'm gonna knock that out first, because I don't want to accidentally waste the super. I wonder what she'll say this time.
Hi, you have reached the DUP helpline. Do you have a bioterrorist incident to report?
You will not believe.
Mr. Rowe, knock it off!
Damn! Well, okay. Is it just one hand of a chapter? Is it really just one? I can easily just bop. Bop. And one more should do it. Was that? Okay, then. She got mad, and the only thing she could pull was a helicopter, helicopter. All those pronunciations are correct in my personal opinion, but all those different things. And if you've watched the previous videos, these jackets, I've thought about this in every video, I just haven't said it. I'm going to cover these jackets at the very end of this video, hopefully. I'm going to show it because not a whole lot to show. It's just different pictures. The other jackets do not change. I don't think going bad or good. It's always the same picture, but it's a cool picture regardless. But it will change, like how the back there on the jacket is the symbol for going good. I think right there. The symbol for going good, for getting max karma for going good, is on the back. The bad will have the progressing bad, like this had the progressing good. Those are just different static pictures no matter what you have, if you unlocked it. Sorry for spinning around multiple times with that sentence. That fucking was horrible. Did not mean to do that. I was trying to say it in the best way I could, but I just said it multiple times. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? Where is Mr. Bitch? Mr. Bitch. Hell yeah! Okay. My luck is shit when it comes to the things I want, but I get shit like that constantly, where it's, oh, there you are, you motherfucker! Come here! Where the fuck you going? Where the fuck you trying to go, bitch? Oh, you piece of shit. Fuck. Let me shoot, let me shoot, let me shoot, let me shoot! Fuck. Come here, you motherfucker, bitch. Hell yeah.
Or else.
Hell yeah. As I was saying, my luck is pretty shit when it comes to the things I actually want. Like, the only exotic I wanted in D2 for the longest time was the Monte Carlo. Because I'm a Titan main, I've always been a Titan main, that just seemed like the best Titan exotic at the time. My tastes and just overall opinions, I was like, when I first started playing D2 is when or not when I first started, when I first actually sucked my teeth into D2. Because I did play before the Monte Carlo got introduced because of the symbol that's on it. I thought it was when I first started, but this is a long time ago because I've been playing a long ass time. But, or, doesn't seem like a long time, and for a lot of people it's not. That's like a fraction of the time they play because they could have been playing since D1. But Destiny has been around a long ass time. I had a point there. The exotic Monte Carlo is what I wanted because it was just the best Titan exotic, or best exotic weapon for Titan that I could think of. But in doing shit, I get random rolls that are just perfect. Like, okay, that sounds weird because a lot of people get those. It's the first time I get it, it will most likely be pretty fucking good. At least within the first 3 pulls, it will have one of the perks I want. And that's really all I need, personally. Like, if it's the... Okay, for an example, my Prophet. My Prophet, all I really wanted was Keep Away. I got a different perk in my first roll, like, first, 5. I think it was my first one, but first 5, I had a roll of Keep Away. And that was perfect. That's all I wanted on that scout rifle because that is just fucking beautiful. And that is my PvP scout rifle specifically. I did get one with headstone, and I got one with the hip fire shots, getting a kill gives you better hip fire shots, which is actually pretty fucking good. I have actually done some shit with that. It's pretty cool if you know how to use it. Or almost done some shit. I don't know how I didn't actually. But it can be used for some pretty good shit. I'm just not the greatest with it. But I get shit also like when I said bitches, a random PC, or not PC, NPC said bitches as well, like he was responding to me, which is fucking cool. And I get that a lot. Like in Destiny, for example, I don't have a good example off the top of my head, but I have done different things. Like the AI has responded to me basically. It's a bad way to put it because it sounds. I don't think they've. they've never reacted outside of the typical, but other times it has been like very on sync. Like different attacks have been on sync, different things like that. It happens so often. I just don't really record it. But when I do record videos, it's not really with that same pieces falling together. Like how Danos videos, mini videos of different people like that, their videos are just perfect, to an example. Like they could not script half the shit that happens in them. Typically, some videos aren't as just damn that's impressive for the shit. Just the likelihood of them having different outcomes, different things in their games, different things like that is just fucking crazy, and that's what I'm talking about specifically. The likelihood of the conversation adding up to what's going on in the game, even though the game can't hear you, there's no 1+1. This is one, like the number one plus the digital one versus zero kind of thing. Like 1 to 0, it's that type of thing. Where, sure, they are both technically numerical, technically, but they're not both the same. Because without having somebody to bounce off of, I don't know when to shut up about different things. Sorry about that. Because I don't think all that matters. I pressed triangle there. It just didn't want it. Shit. Oh, no, 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 no. You are a good shot, turret. No, 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 no. Get around the corner. Yeah. Okay. Last couple things. And then I'm good. Hopefully. Only been 30. Hell yeah. If you didn't know this, an infamous Second Son and an infamous First Light, while you are dashing around, you cannot heal. I don't personally get why, but you cannot heal.
You're welcome, world.
That's literally shitty, and that's just fucking disgusting. Okay, hopefully this guy doesn't give me the slip like last one. And technically it could actually be a girl. Which is kind of funny when I have not noticed, at least, a single DUP female. Except for the disguised ones. Nope, that's a guy. Wait, he has blue hair. Hell yeah. And that sounds kind of bad. It's a descriptor. It gives me something to go off of, so best way to put it, my hunter instincts of just I'll look for blue is really able to hone on to. It's you, isn't it? Yep. Come here.
Nice try, pal.
There we go. I do not mind any hair color at all. It is just a personal expression of yourself, and that doesn't actually really mean a whole lot, because you could have rainbow hair or anything. It doesn't really express yourself unless you really wanted to, more than just a cool thing to put on your head. If that makes any sense. Like, when I say express yourself, because some people do have the absolute, I don't know the right words, just absolute kook, where they are just that rainbow. They are not anything more than just that rainbow. And there are people like that, and that I do not mean this as a bad thing, and a good friend could do the same thing, but they need some help. When their only personality traits is something that doesn't really do a whole lot. Like I get like there are some people that are just too awkward and different things like that to really have a personality. But they still have interests that they could talk about. They still have other things they could talk about besides the general things that you would think about with Rainbow. And those people that just have those topics to talk about, those things are the only people that I really think need help. Because it's not all about the sexual side of things, not all about all those different topics that you could think about with that. It's just who are you? None of that matters. It's you, what you can do, what you can accomplish, which is why I'm not trying to get political, but I'm more Republican than Democrat because I do not care at fucking all who you are, what you look like, what you do, what your political leaning is, what your sexual orientation is, none of that. I don't give a fuck. Are you a good person? Can you get shit done? And that's really about it. I don't even care if you have like I'm talking about this because this is going to be something I do put on everything on my different
You at wreak.
wanting a job called
Helpline. Do
this.
you have a bioterrorist incident to report?
Yeah,
I can
pretty
actually just
soon you guys are gonna
shit.
run out of billboards for me to tag.
Oh, fine. Have it your way.
All right, lady, bring it on.
At least she had some banter back and forth, more than last time. Hell yeah, hand him a chop try on that. Okay, I do want to say this because I had a point, but when I do get to the point of hiring people and getting my businesses and different buildings up and running, because I do want buildings, like I want a restaurant, like I've talked about previously, want different things here and there that are just fun for the community. And the reason why I want a restaurant is not for the money or publicity. I want a restaurant because that would then allow random people like kids, homeless people, different things like that to have an avenue to get relatively a free meal. Like it's not going to be free. They're not going to be able to walk in and get a meal. They're going to have to do some dishes. And if they are typical, come in, get the meal, don't walk out, or walk out, don't do the dishes, they'll have to do the dishes first and then get the meal. If they're typical, do that. But I think there's at least a leniency for giving the meal the first time, even as a homeless person, because the meal, how I'm wanting to use my money, which is why I've talked about the general business thing that I've heard about from my parents, where you have to, where if it's not under the same specific hierarchy of building or something like that, if it's not the same corporation, you can't separate, you can't get different money, can't put money in different places, even if they are under the same person, where you have to have the same corporation overall to give money around without having massive eyeballs on you. And I don't want the eyeballs unless I am doing something that deserves the eyeballs, not just using my money. I don't want my money to be part of the thing you look at because that's just, I'm using it how I want to. It's my money, I earned it, kind of thing. But with that, I'll have so much overhead that, and I'll have my own farms, different things like that, and my own farms that do not actually take up land. I'm planning on having like the mobile farm systems, different things like that, which, and I'm talking about all this because I haven't actually talked about all of this, yeah, which is why I really want to get my foot into the door of making games, which would be my step into doing everything else I want to do. But I want to perfect my own version of mobile food generation, best way to put it, like the mobile farms, different things like that, and have all sorts of different farms. Like I want a protein farm, or different vegetables, different things like that, and fully foolproof that entire system so that system can then go to space station or space exploration efforts, because if we can actually get, and I know it sounds kook because not a lot of people are into space, but if we can actually get as a species habitats like RVs where you can have everything you want, your electricity, your gas, but actual food generation as well, like everything you would need on that one vessel, and it even has a perfect cycle. Like the fuel for the system is potatoes, like vodka. Not going to be exactly vodka, but say it's vodka, for example. You could pour it in, it runs off of that, and then everything has power. Like you could have a main power system that does like the engine, different things like that, and have that backup system for when you're just floating in space, because you don't really need a whole lot of power if you're just floating. Different things like that. And having that general system of being in space gives you infinite space to live in as a human species, or as any species really, because that doesn't just need to be human. That could be any alien species ever should have that system, have a habitat. And people do think about space stations when they think about what I'm talking about, but I'm thinking RV sized, relatively speaking. Like it can't necessarily be RV sized because asteroids and things like that, but a family unit can live in it and go explore. Kind of thing is what I'm thinking for the perfect self contained habitat in space. That general thing. And with everything I'm wanting to do, I'm basically working towards that. That general. It's not just also the tech I'm wanting to. I'm also wanting to make a good society that could go to space and not just fuck everything up. Is the key thing to what I'm trying to do. Like Elon Musk is a very smart person because of how he can put things together. And I have heard that he doesn't actually make anything, and that's not really a bad thing. He can put the shit together. And that is fucking brilliant. That is enough to propel so many things so fast. It's like one of his rockets. That type of shit. Because of what he can do as a person. Where the fuck's the animatronic? I was looking directly at it. I did not notice. But I want to be the societal aspect, which is why I'm wanting to make the food generation, the different societal aspects like I talked about with the restaurant, and different things I'm wanting to do. Because the restaurant, that general system will encourage people to come by, talk, and with the homeless people specifically, and kids if they really do want it, but homeless people specifically will give them a foot in the door to have a better life if they really want it. Some homeless people don't actually want a better life because that is you motherfucker. That is their better life. Is being homeless, doing that general homeless lifestyle, is their better life compared to everything else. And if they're truly like that, I don't really mind that. They could still, okay, trying to get a better job, trying to get a better life with the foot in the door of having a job at that restaurant if they keep wanting to do it. That general thing. Like if they come in multiple times for a meal, I will encourage my manager to talk to them to get them a job to actually stay at the business and just work their way up if they really want to. If they're the type of person that likes just being out and about, doesn't like actually having a home, there's actually ways around that too. Even in a busy city, there is places you could stay, different things like that. You can have a tent, you can have a good lifestyle even with that general thing is also something I'm wanting to work on because you don't actually have to have a home with modern day tech, which is fucking crazy. And that is another aspect wanting to modernize, bring those cool inventions all sorts of people have made and just bring them to everyone for as low of a price as possible. Because it's not the monetary gain that I am after. It is the personal gain. It's not my personal gain, it's their personal gain. Because sure, I could sell a cool technological doodad that does blah blah blah, but it's not for me. I have infinite of those. Why would I need it to do blah blah blah? I have X, Y, and Z to do blah 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 because I have all these different doodads that do this, this, and this because that's what I do. I make these doodads. I make these things, kind of thing. Why would I need it to cost a whole lot of money when I just make so many? That general thing. Like you can have so much backlog, so much all sorts of shit to make it where you don't need to pay that much. Like you can have so many things just be as cheap as you can make it. And not a, because of the overhead I'm wanting to do, it could also be like cheaper technically, but with still the same quality. And quality does not necessarily mean it's cheap because you can still have a cheap product with good quality depending on the materials being used and how it's being the symbol, different things like that. You could have a good quality object, no matter what it is, product, food, no matter, with having low cost because of the things being involved in making it. It is everything up to the product costing everything that it costs. The manual labor, the goods and services being used in order to make it, different things like that. All of that comes together to come to the general cost. And because of how I'm wanting to have my overhead and my general funneling of money and my general things like that, I'm wanting to have it where that overhead is so loose. There's so much overhead there, it doesn't really matter. Which will allow me to sell so many things at such a low price that it will allow so many people to have just better lives because of it. Which is all I really care about, which is the kind of point I was trying to make. about the individual getting a happier life, a generally better life. And if it's because of me, hell yeah. If it's because of somebody else, even
Powers
better.
you can hold? Augustine does. She doesn't like the idea of you ever finding your way to Curtin K. You've got a lot of different conduits there, not just the ones you've seen here in Seattle. Glass, wire, paper. Man, it's a long, strange list. Imagine what could happen if you came to Curtin K. Imagine if you got all those powers. What you become. Man, that scares me. I bet it terrifies Augustine.
I hit my vape, so I had a cough there. I was gonna say something right after he was done. But, uh, what was I gonna say? I inhaled there because I had a cough. But, uh, that is an aspect of the MMO that I do want to touch on because I don't want to just end the elements off with and okay, depending on the universe, because I know this does not have any correlation to Infamous 2. There's nothing that directly. There's no way this could be after Infamous 2 with any Infamous 2 storyline. No matter how you try and spin it, it's not Infamous 2, which is why I also want to talk to them, because they might have a world setting, a title for this, so to speak. But there is no like with that said, if there's something like that, video could make sense relatively speaking, like they did at the very beginning, saying there's not necessarily natural, it is just they can control something. That explains this, and that's part of the thing why I want to talk about with them. But or what I want to talk about with them, but uh he is not limited to just these elements. His ability or Delta's ability is conduit sponge, which is why you see the middle thing there, that DNA thing. That's his ability, actually. His ability is sponge, is copying it, but less potent. It's the general format of your abilities, but not your abilities at all. Like, for example, Concrete Bitch. Concrete Bitch could turn into a gigantic crab, run at you, create gigantic structures and all sorts of shit. But all you can really do is boulder dash, fly a little bit, have reduced damage. And okay, reduced damage sounds pretty cool, but any high-powered conduit has that really. Any conduit has that. It's just their mental fortitude, basically. Typical fire, decent rocket. You don't have anything, at least in the kit, and I'm guessing this is how he is to an extent in the lore, where he doesn't have the entire ability set. It's an aspect of that general power set. If he went to, say, Curtin K, he would have all of them. He could go to a city and say, with glass, touch a window, boom, have that power. Paper, touch a stack of newspapers, boom, have that power. He could go anywhere, do anything, and constantly have a power ready to fucking go. Even other planets, depending on what it is, he could be immortal there too. He could be a super god. And I mean super god as in like biblical god to an extent, but not to the same degree. Okay. With conduits at least in Infamous 1 and Infamous 2, their power, they passively gain energy from it. It's not just boom, I have to, or not just I have to absorb it, they passively gain energy from it. Uh But okay, the reason why I said it like that is because thinking about that with what I said just alone, Kolmagrath shouldn't be able to die to his own electricity. But the reason why he can is because the water itself is pulling it out of him, making it damage him. It's not that he's absorbing it. He has so much energy on him, it's frying him. Basically, it's heat. Basically, but Kolmagrath can take lightning bolts, I assume, and just be able to passively absorb them, but because it's actually burning him up with his own electricity, it won't. I'm guessing something on those lines for the water, but you can absorb your own energy without having to physically say, I want to absorb it as a conduit, which is pretty fucking cool, which allows my theory for Infamous 2 or Infamous 3, where Kolmagrath wakes back up after a good ending. I've talked about that previously, but where we back up, how we could theoretically, different things like that, because they can absorb their energy passively and in some cases generate their energy passively. I had a point. Uh, because they can absorb it and generate it passively, Delson could walk through anywhere, literally anywhere, relatively speaking, depending on his power set that he has at the time and how many powers he's gotten, because I don't know if he has a limit. Personally, how I would limit this, because I'm wanting to have a fuck ton of abilities in the DC Universe Online version, but like I'm having a limited set to begin with, but when you get to Curtain K, you can experiment with so many different possibilities. But I'm thinking the difference in that is you can only have like one, two, three, four. You can only have four maximum. Something like that. Going off of this, you only have four ability sets, but four ability sets maximum as your like magazine that you can switch between. That is your thing as the Dustin character. That is what you can do, but less powerful. Where you have more control, like all of these different abilities. Excuse me, you actually heard that one. I didn't get a chance to mute, but where you have all of these different possibilities, relatively speaking. Not necessarily the exact, like, that is not something you necessarily would have on Neon necessarily, but the amount of possibilities, the amount of information here on, say, Neon alone, if that is your main element. Because you can't just walk around and do things, just absorb the energy from anything. But with Delson, you would be able to do that, which is something I want to dabble with if I ever get the chance to make this. Because the shit you could do theoretically with the gameplay would make that version, that type of gameplay where you have the main subclass, the main playstyle be concrete, for example, with I think concrete should play like My Hero Academia Ultra Rumble's concrete dude, where you can toss shit out, make pillars, and do all sorts of shit with just making concrete slabs and different things like that. Like completely maneuver the battlefield, completely control different funnels, make different funnels, do different things to completely distort the battlefield. I think will be Concrete's prime conduit abilities, because Delson isn't necessarily a prime conduit. His ability is being a sub conduit, but to the extreme, basically. He wouldn't have the same degree of power, so he was like they would have something similar to this general thing, where it's the combative movement aspect, but not the concrete. What makes concrete so fucking good? Or it could dabble into the general wall building, different things like that of concrete, like what I think concrete should be, because I could, I bet I could literally just run around a little bit and see a little bit of concrete. It, you know, I actually want to get some extra shit done because shit, I can't. It's 50. Sorry about that, y'all. Next episode is gonna be that, and I'm gonna double because I literally just have this to do. I'm going to simplify. Okay. Let me go make sure that I can actually do this. Or, you know what? Next episode, that gives me more to do, and I can start the campaign without really feeling that bad. And I can't do this. I am not going to worry about doing all that, or I was going to plan on doing that after doing the side objective down at the bottom right that you can see, which will be a drug bust, which will instantly give me my super, basically, which will allow me to instantly do that, but I don't really care about that. Next episode, I'm going to do everything you just saw, this entire chunk, because that's the only chunk I have left. And then going to save it, and instantly after doing all of that, go to start the evil side of things. So that will actually be, how would I name that? Shit. I am going to need a new episode regardless. Good slash bad. Where's the stepping stone, and I can keep the episodes because both of them are the overall story. I will just go like 17, 18, 19, on up. That works. Okay. Um, Next episode, I'm going to complete all of this, do the bad side, or start the bad side, like I was saying. I was talking about the powers and abilities, but you get the general gist, hopefully, uh, of what I'm trying to say, because it's the same things I've said multiple times, and I don't think you really would want to hear it again, because I've said it so many other times of how this general thing, and I've said the exacts because I suck at saying the exacts, doing the exacts of what I'm wanting, unless I am just hunkering down and doing it. Even just drawing something, I can't draw a stick figure really. At least maybe now I could. Previously in my life, and this sounds weird, but when I was born, I had Dandy Walker, which explains everything. And the weird thing about okay, Dandy Walker at least my version of Dandy Walker is the lowest fourth quadrant of my brain did not form correctly, or my version I think didn't form actually, wasn't fully developed. Over my life, it actually developed more and more and more and more and more and more to right now. I think I have a fully developed brain. It allows me to do all sorts of shit, which is pretty kind of cool. I don't get how that works. I don't think that that's actually physically possible. But with my experience over my life, that is what happened for my understanding of how different things worked with my life. But when I was younger, I haven't tried it in a good bit, but when I was younger, I couldn't draw a stick figure. I couldn't write anything. I struggled and I got mad and tore up the paper when I couldn't write it because I knew it. I could understand the information. I could do the test. I could theoretically do it, which is what always upset me. I just couldn't write it. I couldn't put that information through my hand and write it. Is the best way to put it, and that's always been the problem I've had. And now it's with verbal components. We're trying to make a video, and again, I'm guessing is part of the reason or part of the problem there is I don't have somebody to bounce off of. If I had somebody to bounce off of, like I had a general, this is what I want to talk about. Because I like this format of non-scripted, of just talking to you guys, because that gives you more of a personal feeling of I'm just talking to you. There's nothing scripted. Anything I've ever said isn't scripted, even when I am editing it and you're hearing me relatively speaking live. I don't script it. I just try and say it the best way I can over and over and over again because it's what I'm trying to deliver. It's that information. It's me. It's not a script. It's not somebody else writing it. Even if it is me writing it, that's not me necessarily. But with all that said, uh, I'm sorry that I struggle with that, and that's part of the reason why I want people to get to know me. Because some things are going to be kind of. Actually, I don't think some things are going to be jank, but my general. Who I am is a very weird person, which is why I really like covering that and why I want people to get to know that part of things. I never plan on showing my face, just that I'm weird, or I'm this weird, so any weird you have, why would I really care? Basically. Like, everything you just said, to my understanding at the very least, is literally impossible. How could gray matter like fix itself over time doing that? Like, that's the only time I've ever heard of anything like that is with BJ Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein. And I guess now, or okay, theoretically, I could have actually done everything I wanted to by now, but I do want to keep talking about this. It's actually pretty cool because I do like this conversation. But, and I can't even really go back in time to do it, but still, theoretically, I could have done all that. Uh, the reason why you heard me sniffle there is because I'm sweating because I do not have my air conditioning going. That is loud, and whenever I don't have my air conditioning going, you hear it constantly in the video, so I always turn it off. Just to make the videos a little bit better. I think I said everything I wanted to, and the main point of I'm so weird, why would any weird you have really be bad? Unless the only problem with the only time a weird aspect of you or anyone around you is a problem is when it actively harms you or anyone around you. Try your best to help that person because that is the problem. The problem with okay, if you allow that to keep happening, there's more problems that could arise from that situation. It's better to just not have those problems than have them. Safe than sorry, that general thing. Try your best to help them, that general thing. But basically, no one has that. There's a lot of problems in the world, but you could control yourself with basically everything. There are some things like not high functioning, low functioning autistic, they can't really control themselves, which is fucking horrible, but not everyone has that. Uh and that's what I'm trying to talk about. Like, there's a lot of cool shit that could happen. Or a lot of things that I think about, a lot of cool shit that could happen because of the general things I'm wanting to bring into the world, how I think, different things like that. Have a good rest of y'all's day, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video.